Hi, if you have a difficult relationship that you are required to co-parent, required to communicate and have contact with this person, even though it's very complicated and difficult, maybe it's someone who has like narcissistic traits, or maybe you just have to co-parent with an ex, or maybe you were never in a relationship, but you have a child together, whatever the case may be, it can be really hard to know where the lines are and how to kind of hold your peace and still have contact. Other things that could happen. You might have someone in your life that you have to communicate with, but every time you kind of open up with them, you end up oversharing, or you get sucked in, they get back in your life and then they use it against you, right? So it's really a matter of sharing, and it's a matter of learning where the line is with the boundary, which can be and feel almost impossible. Chances are those same boundary issues probably preceded you being, separated or not together anymore. So it's probably more of how you're relating and connecting in this relationship that is just kind of an old pattern. So I'm going to show you today how to use the relationship trust boundary model to be able to know where the line is and then help you learn how to hold it. So for example, if we look at trust, so in this relationship, if you're wanting to not share so much, and if you're wanting to kind of pull back from this person more, probably a good chance trust was broken somewhere. So they've either taught you that you can't trust them, they've shown you that multiple times you can't trust them, or maybe you just want to finally move on. But the problem is you may be legally required to communicate with them because you're co-parenting, right? You're sharing a child together. So first thing would be, where is the level of trust? So if trust has been broken, because we're not every co-parenting situation is going to be the same. Some people may co-parent with an ex that they do have trust with still. The relationship just didn't work for whatever reason. So they might not need to have as rigid boundaries with those individuals as someone who's trying to co-parent with someone who they know they cannot trust. So if we're looking at the relationship trust boundary model, and we have the idea of, okay, we already know that we can't trust this person. We already know that we need to limit the amount that we share with them because they've punished us with the information we've provided before. Where is that line at? So the trust is low. You also look at what is your role in the relationship. My role in the relationship is co-parent. So if you if you take a look at the model, which there is a full training on September 19th, at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. The link is in the description, or go to relationaltrauma101.podia.com. It's just $20. You'll get a full training on the entire model. But today, just looking at how the model might be something that is of interest to you, that could be a benefit to you. So if we look at the different options we have, I'm just going to show you on my book right here. So if you take a look at where you exist, which is self, and then you look up here at co-parent and acquaintance, right? If you have no trust with that person, you just want to only keep it about the kid, you might want to share at an acquaintance level. So an acquaintance level of sharing, once you go through the model and learn what that means, it's saying at that level, we share based off interest. All we talk about is a mutual interest, but not necessarily how we feel about that interest. So in this case, if you're sharing a child, it's very unsafe for you to be close to this co-parent because of whatever reason. They manipulate you, they suck you back in just to punish you, they're toying with you, right? Whatever it is they're doing to make your life difficult, you could put them emotionally at an acquaintance level. The shared interest in this case would be the child. So anything you would share would be regarding the child, but you would not share how you felt about the child. If you had a bit more trust with someone, but they didn't belong in like the friend or family rung, you could put them in the coworker rung, and then you could share about the child and also how you feel about the child, but not anything else personally. You wouldn't talk about, what you're doing next weekend, where you're going, things you're doing with your house, if you're deciding to go back to school. None of those things would be shared because that would be letting them get closer to you than you want them to be. But if you wanted to say, that they're safe with you at that coworker level, then you could share how you felt about the child. So let me give you an example, and this will kind of make it more clear. So if I have a co-parent that I have to share with, and I have no trust for them at all, and I want to stick them further from me and emotionally put them in that acquaintance rung, then I might say, Timmy has a dentist appointment Friday at 5. I leave it at that. So I'm still legally meeting my requirement. I'm letting you know what's happening with our son and that he has to go to the dentist. This is where the dentist is. It's at 5, and that's it. That's me sharing and giving you nothing of me emotionally. I'm not letting you get any closer to where I exist, right? But let's say I did have some trust and we could share about the child, and it was safe for me to share how I felt about the child. Then I could put that co-parent and co-worker rung. So I would say, Timmy has a dentist appointment Friday at 5 o'clock. I feel really good about this dentist. Timmy's excited. He read his profile and it looks like it's going to be a good fit. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. So see, I didn't give you top secret information, but I did give you information on how I felt, which let you get closer to me, although it's still further out, but that was closer than what the acquaintance level did. So hopefully you're starting to see like, okay, what I really just taught you was where to put the emotional boundary. When you emote, that's you letting someone get closer to you. Emoting is telling them what's in your head and what's in your heart, telling them what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So if you're sharing what you're thinking about the child, how you're feeling about the child or the situation with the child, you're actually emoting a bit more and you're letting them get a little closer to you, which is making you vulnerable. And remember, someone gets closer to us as trust is built, and someone goes further from us as trust is broken. So if we're looking at in this regard to this degree, right, then it's important to understand, oh, okay, I got it. So I can still share with you, I can still meet those legal requirements, but I'm not legally required to tell you how I feel about things or to let you into my private thoughts or let you into my heart, right? I can just tell you about Timmy. I can tell you where the doctor's at and the time that it is at. I'm not giving anything else up. This is really, really helpful when you're dealing with someone who might have narcissistic traits or someone who's used to toying or manipulating you, because what they really want is access to your emotion. So they want to know those thoughts and feelings, and they can use those in a lot of really unhealthy, creative ways. So the less you give them, you're still meeting that requirement, but you're protecting yourself. You're exercising your rights by protecting your right to privacy, and your thoughts and your feelings are private. Those belong to you. You decide who you share with, how much you share, and when you're going to share. So I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, and you're feeling like, oh, this model could really help me, which I can't think of a single person it could not really help. Even if you're not dealing with the narcissist, it's so powerful to learn how to set and hold boundaries using the model. You learn it once, you can use it for the rest of your life. So again, you can sign up at relationaltrauma101.podia.com. It's going to be September 19th. It's a live virtual training, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Otherwise, you can always find the book on Amazon.com. I'm wishing you luck with your boundaries. I hope you take good care, and I'm going to see you in the next one.